I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 3rd, brought to you in part by Beaver Red Angus Ranch. Make sure and keep an eye out for Beaver Red Angus Ranch fall bull and female sales. They've got several to choose from. They'll have some online sales also, but they're taking some of their breeding stock down to the southeast to their customers to sell there. They've got a sale in Swainsboro, Georgia on October the 14th. Going to be offering bulls and females there. And then their annual fall sale will be in November at the ranch in Leola, South Dakota. For more information on all the opportunities to get some of the best Red Angus genetics you can find, go to beaverredangus.com. We've got empty sales here to start the week. There's nothing to really drive the market right now. Nothing particularly holding it back other than the lack of leverage in your fed cattle market, but your feeder cattle are still holding pretty well. Actually, your board was up just a tick on Monday because trying to catch back up some of the losses that it had the latter part of last week, but sure nothing to drive the market to start the week out here. Your cash feeder cattle sales are going pretty well, but they're lower because we've kind of lost the drive on your fed cattle market there. We don't have any push on it, and it was kind of a disappointment last week when we didn't gain several dollars. In fact, the Northern Plains were just kind of unevenly steady on a live basis there. The Southern Plains gained $1, but they don't hardly sell enough cash negotiated sales to make a difference. But we're lacking something. We need something to give us a push. People are kind of scared of the new COVID rules and things holding the market back, holding trade back, holding people from going out to eat, perhaps possibly keeping some of our workers and their packing plants from showing up again. But they still have all that PPE in place in those packing plants. They've still got the plexiglass, in between them. They're still taking all the precautions with the masks and everything like that. So that they shouldn't have to worry about that, but anytime you have a threat and you give some of those type of people a little bit of authority, and then you got the unions pushing behind them, you never know of when they're gonna quit showing up for work. But a lot of that free money for sitting around on your ass has backed off a little bit, so people are having to realize that they're going to have to work to make a living, and indeed they're going to have to pay their rent now too, because they're not going to have the halt on evictions anymore because of the pandemic. So as we start moving forward here, we need to get back to normal. But I tell you what, the fears from the media, for the most part, is what's got everybody just antsy and on edge. Because that's the first thing they're going to talk about in any newscast is COVID fears and moving forward. But they continue to let people unmasked, unvaccinated come across our southern border, and then just start spreading them out all over the United States like a shotgun golf tournament start or something like that. But got several sales. I'm recording this earlier than the day than I normally do, in the afternoon on Monday, because I'm headed up to Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. Met those folks up there and really enjoyed meeting them, and we're going to start doing more stuff with Beaver County Stockyards. Met Jeff Slatton there and his wife, and they're doing an awful good job there with what used to be a small market, but it's getting to be a regional type market now. Granted, that region is very, very rural, up there in no man's land on the eastern side of the Oklahoma Panhandle there, but we're going to start broadcasting their market on DV Auction every week on Tuesdays. Going to start doing some in-house video sales with them. And you guys can watch that sale more regularly, get on there and bid on some of those cattle, and likely going to be more promotion for Beaver County Stockyards, because they're doing an awful good job there in the Southern Plains, and we just like to help people and work with people like that. But here on their Tuesday sale that we will be broadcasting here today on Tuesday, about 1,000 head, which is a light run for them in the sale barn. But I got about 700 head string of calves on their in-house video. So be interesting to watch that. You guys tune into that on dvauction.com. Some other sales I want to talk about. Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri. Of course, they're all the time broadcast on dvauction.com, have been for years, and doing an awful good job with their in-house video sales. But keep your ears open, and I'm going to get some more information on these. But they've got a special bred cow sale and replacement sale on Saturday, this coming Saturday, in West Plains at Ozarks Regional Stockyard. In that mix, they've got a 500 head cow string, all one deal, bred to 44 Farms bulls. Now you know what goes along with that, you know, your buyback program and everything, but this is a first-rate, honest, top quality deal coming for Saturday. I'm going to get some more information on that from Randy Hoover. Wasn't able to get a hold of him on Monday, but keep your ears open for that. Might be something you want to pay attention to. Another friend of mine on the western side of the Oklahoma Panhandle, Ashley Nolan, told me for Wednesday's sale, which will be tomorrow as you're watching this, Texhoma Livestock Exchange, Texhoma, Oklahoma. He's really doing a good job with that sale. Just kind of took it over here recently, but he's told me about a 900 head string of yearling feeders coming off some short wheat stubble over by Dumas, Texas. They're going to weigh on either side of 9. Not sure how they're going to sort up yet, but he said these cattle are empty, thin, and in a really good condition to go to feed, and you don't see 900 head come in off one swath in that part of the country there. So keep your eyes open for that at Texhoma, Oklahoma. Let's talk about your board on Monday. August live cattle futures up a nickel at 122.12. October up 7 cents. Like I told you, it's up a smidgen, but not really enough to matter. October up 7 at 127.27. Your back months were all up, but not enough to make much difference. Up a dime to up 60 cents. Feeder cattle, August contract, your spot month up 7 cents at 158.25. September up 17 cents. 161.97. Now your back months were up some, so some enough to make a difference, and it looks awful promising out there. Now some people are blowing their brains out on them and buying some of these calves on the video and don't have them sold, just rolling the dice there, but looks awful good down the road on these feeder cattle. But up 42 cents to up $1.05 on your back months on feeder cattle contracts. How about your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade in your 5-area feeding region? 64,200, very meager, even less than last week's meager trade or the previous week's at 65,300. Same week a year ago, 103,000 head. So that gives you an idea how light it is, and I wouldn't say the 103 is big, but it is for this day and time. Let's talk about your live sales of steers and heifers, finished cattle from 116 to 125, but for the most part 119 to 123.5. Your weighted average on live steers in your 5-area feeding region was 121.68. That's you know, your spread on that was kind of unevenly steady in the northern plains, buck higher in the southern plains. That weighted average price on steers in the 5-area of 121.68 was up 91 cents compared to the previous week. Dress sales, for the most part in the northern plains, were steady to a buck higher from 193 to 202, but mostly 196 to $2. Dressed steer weighted average was 197.39, up 61 cents. So we did gain a little bit of ground there, and you hate to complain about that, but if you think a week ago Monday, the board being up so big, we had all that positive fundamental news, and we just knew we were going to do big things, and your Packers just drug it out and held back and pushed back until finally, you know, we didn't hardly realize anything from it at all. Nationwide negotiated fed cattle trade was 77,200. That's not even decent move for your 5-area. But of that 77,200, about 28% of it was for the 2 to 4 week delivery. And we had, like I said, 77,200 negotiated. Formula sales last week totaled 265,000 500 head. Let's talk about what's going on the Video Royale. Superior Livestock's big video going on this week. Started out on Monday. Some pretty big prices. How about LX Ventures in Pawhuska, Oklahoma? I was just up in Pawhuska. It was my first trip up there. Love that place. I could live in that little town. A lot of activity going around there. They're making a movie. They've got a lot of things that go on. It's kind of a touristy little place, but a neat place to be in Pawhuska. But cattle turned out in a radius right around Pawhuska there. They had 270 of these feeder steers. Now, they were bought in cattle, but they were bought off Superior Livestock videos, and they were all off 3 ranches in Colorado, and then taken out there and turned out for the summer. 270 of those 840-pound all black top quality steers, all natural, NHTC, GAP 4 qualified, bring $175 for mid-August delivery. Big time quote. How about your brick and mortar sales, your real-time index on DV Auction on Monday afternoon at 153.01? That was down just 24 cents, but down some. Your big sales, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma National Stockyard, 7,000 head. Mid-session call there was steady to $3 lower on feeders, which can be expected. Calves, $2 to $5 lower. Joplin Regional Stockyards, 5,000 head. I don't really have a lot of trust in the market reporter there. I'd say the early call was not well tested. He had it quoted a little bit higher, but you know, when you don't have trust in that, how do you know? But stick out deal in Joplin, which was sure okay. 63 head, 692-pound steers at $167. That's a big time quote. How about another sale in south central Missouri, down there in the Ozark Mountains, right before you drop off into Arkansas? Gainesville Livestock Auction, 70 head, 706-pound steers, bring $165. How about a mid-Missouri sale there that does awful good week in, week out? Callaway Livestock Center, my friend Jack Harrison there, he has good sales every Monday there. 59 head, 779-pound steers, bring $159. But the biggest and best quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, and your Zactran top quote for the day, come out of Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. 365 head of 1,020-pound steers bring $142.50. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.